welcome back to the channel. Welcome to our Tuesday night live broadcast where we are live every single Tuesday with weight loss tips and questions and healthy recipes and success interviews put here to give you some hope, inspire you, help you not only be on the journey of getting to whatever your goal is with your health, but succeeding at it. Why? Because it's one thing to embark on a journey to succeed at anything. It's a whole other thing to actually accomplish those goals. And so, welcome. If this is your first time watching, I do want to invite you to join our growing community here on YouTube. Hit the subscribe button, ring that notification bell up there. That way you won't miss any of our tips. You'll be notified. We have a show every single Wednesday here on YouTube. It's a YouTube reality weight loss show where we are journeying with 12 people on their weight loss journey. We're in season 3 right now, and we're literally watching them every single week, weigh in live, see what they're struggling with, seeing what they're doing, how they're doing. And it's, we laugh, we cry. Sometimes there's some tough love on there, lots of encouragement. And I want to invite you to watch that if you never have. But anyway, also, while you're watching, go ahead and smash the like button. Leave us a comment down below. Let me know where you're watching from. And if you're on here live with us right now, hi! I love the live when they're on here because they get to there's like a live chat that goes on while we're live and you get to like type in and it's really kind of cool. So anyway, I have to totally not watch it because I get distracted. And then I want to just talk to them. And so, because there's a lot of my clients that'll be on live with us. And so it's like my extended family. So tonight, we're going to be diving in, try to do this about once every 6 weeks, try to come on here and just do a Q&A where we're answering your questions. I always think we're making a dent inside of the questions that we get, but every time we do one, like these are all the questions that have come in. So we have a lot of questions, and I want to thank you for submitting all of these questions, for asking the questions. Every single question you ask, I copy and paste. It goes into my current questions, and when we do these, I try to answer as many as we can get through in about 20-25 minutes. Yeah, so thank you for submitting your questions. Keep them coming. I love to see them. I love to answer them, and I love to help in any way that I can. Because listen, I was that morbidly obese woman that had a lot of questions. I would see somebody who had lost a lot of weight, and I would be like, oh my goodness, how? Like, how did you do all that? Like, what in the world? And so I love to, it's so surreal being on the other side of that now and actually going from the person who had all the questions, the hows and to actually being the person that other people ask the questions to. Like, it's the craziest thing. Like, sometimes I'll literally still be like, wow, I'll be getting dressed. I'm like, this is your body. Like, it's crazy. Anyway, all right, so let's move along. You're like, okay, Carmen, get to the questions. All right, I don't even know where to start. Okay, where is a good place to buy clothes cheap as I lose weight and things begin not to fit me? That's a great question. Okay, let me mark it off so I know we're answering that. So if you are a girl, a lot of times, especially with shirts can be cut, they can be tied. I have several shirts that I actually turned into dresses. And so you can get creative with, especially shirts, turning them into things. Alterations, unless you have something that was like super expensive, alterations actually cost more typically than buying new clothes. And so there's a couple places that I would tell you. First and foremost, I would go to the Facebook Marketplace. And a lot of times you'll see adults selling lots of clothes, like lots. When I say lots, an LOTS, which means it'll be a big box or a big bag. They're selling it all together in a size small or medium or large or anything like that. There's another app called the Nextdoor app. And on the Nextdoor app, it's all over the world. And you go on there and it's going to be all your neighbors within like a 10-mile radius. And so go on there or even go on the marketplace and say, hey, I've just recently lost 50 pounds and I still have like 50 more to go. Is there anyone that has any size 10s or 12s or mediums or larges that they're looking to get rid of or are looking to sell at a reasonable price? So I would either go on the Facebook Marketplace, your Facebook wall, or the Nextdoor app and simply just ask if there's anybody looking to get rid of clothes. There typically are. You'll typically be helping somebody by getting them out of their home, out of their basement, out of their garage, and they'll feel good that they're put to use. Another great option, when I was losing weight, we had a resale shop around us, and it was called Uptown Cheapskate. And it was where people would sell clothes, and then you would go, and then there'd be like trendier clothes, and I would go in and buy a couple pairs of jeans, a couple tops, and I would wear them. Because if you're continuing to lose weight, you don't want to spend a lot of money on clothes, because literally you're passing by the size. It's like, hi, bye. It's like, hey, size 10. But if you're not to your goal yet, you're going to say, hey, but you're also going to say bye very soon. So to go invest a lot of money in clothes at a size you're not staying at isn't wise financially. And it can actually cause self-sabotage. If you go buy a bunch of clothes, it can actually call you to stall out at a certain size and not keep going. So I would go into this consignment-ish shop, and I would buy clothes, I would wear them, and let's just say I was in a size 10, and then I got to a size 8. I would take back the size 10s, I would sell them back to them, I would use the in-store credit to then buy size 8s. Same thing. I'd buy a couple pairs of jeans. I didn't need a lot of clothes. I'd buy a couple pairs of jeans, some tops, and then I'd buy my size 8s. I'd stay in my size 8s until I undergrew them, and then I would take them back to the shop, sell them back to them, and then use that money to buy size 6s. And that was my favorite way to do it. There's also Goodwill. Goodwill actually has some really cute stuff. There's other consignment shops, thrift shops. Old Navy has amazing yoga pants. And they go all the way up to like 2X, all the way down to extra small. And you can get a good 20 to 40 pounds inside of one size of their yoga pants, their bootcut yoga pants. And so I would, right after Thanksgiving, they have their Black Friday where they're 50% off. So they're anywhere from $9 to $12 for a pair of yoga pants. And I would buy like 2 in like extra large, 2 in large, 2 in medium. And those would just get me through, and I would just, I'd have 2 to 3 pair of each size. And as I went down, I would wear them. So those are my best tips. As far as bras go to Walmart and get some bras. Listen, I am not a fan of getting bras at Walmart at all, but when you're losing weight, my boobs, they're not special. They don't need a $50 bra for a couple months. So I found like a $5 bra at Walmart, and I would just, make it work for the girls for the time being. They'd get a $5 bra. And then when I actually got to my goal is when I went and got all my Victoria's Secret bras, and I made the investment into getting all the nice bras, but not until I was at my goal. So that is our first question. All right. What if I have a spouse who constantly brings junk food into the house? What should I do? Okay, that's a great question. We have another question that talks about this, and so I'm going to answer both of them. One is, what if I have a spouse who brings junk food into the house? And the other one is, what if I have a spouse who isn't doing this with me, but I want them to? So I'm going to answer both of them because they kind of go hand in hand. So first and foremost, it starts with communication. And I'm going to say this first. Just because we made the decision to take control of our health and to get healthy doesn't mean we can expect our spouse to make that same decision, okay? And so first and foremost, we have to accept that this is our decision and whether we're doing it for us, and that whether anybody else supports us or jumps on the bandwagon that we are doing this, we're going north even if everybody else is going south, okay? Because you're not doing this for your spouse. You've got to be doing it for you, okay? And so if you have a spouse that's consistently bringing junk food into the house, a conversation needs to happen. And it's not a conversation of, don't you know I'm trying to lose weight? Why do you keep bringing this in? That's being defensive. That's causing division between the husband or wife. Versus a conversation where you actually sit your spouse down and you say, hey, and this is something I did and I've had to do several times. It was, hey, I know you've watched me struggle with my weight for all these years. And I know you've watched me try diets and fail at them. I know you've watched me waste money and time. And I haven't always been honest with you about how much this extra weight bothers me. But it really does. It affects, I don't feel comfortable and confident. It affects our sex life. It affects how I feel naked in front of you. It affects all those areas. And so I'm really serious about doing something about this. And with that being said, right now when I'm starting, all the junk food I've been trying to eliminate out of the house, it's not because I don't want you guys to have it. It's because right now I don't have the willpower to have it in the house. And so I'm not going to tell you what to eat. And I'm not going to expect you to not eat the junk just because I'm not eating it. But what I am going to ask is if you bring the junk in, could you please either leave it in the car or hide it in your office or put it in a place where I don't know about it? Because as I'm working on building my willpower muscle, it's a work in progress and I'm not there yet. That if that freaking, if those cookies are in the pantry, I don't have the willpower yet to not eat them. And so I know this is not your problem, but I'm just wondering if you would be willing to help me with this. And when you go to your spouse like that, what are they going to say? When you're actually honest with them about how this has affected you, how this has bothered you, where your current struggles are. I mean, the biggest jerk on the planet isn't going to be like, sorry, broad, tough luck. No, but that's not what most of us do. Most of us react back to the spouse. We get mad at the spouse. We get pissed at the spouse. We want the spouse to not eat the junk because we're not eating the junk. No, that's not the thing. That's not the way. That's not the way to do it. Okay? That's the way to create, and that's the way to create division. That's the way to create friction, not intimacy. Not creating a cheerleader from the spouse it's not creating support from the spouse to come alongside and support you. Again, it's creating friction and division. The second one, where what do I do if I'm doing this and my spouse isn't on board? Well, you're doing this for you. You're not doing this. If you're doing this hoping that your spouse is going to get the hint and lose weight as well, that's the wrong motivation and the wrong reason. But here's what I can tell you. If you are married and you have a spouse, you are their biggest influencer, which means you influence them. You are one of the biggest influencers in their life, which means you influence them almost more than anybody else. Okay? And if you are making healthy changes, they're going to see that. They're going to see that. But just like no one could control when you made the decision, no one can control. And let me ask you, have you ever had anybody try to like coerce you or bribe you or say things like someone else started a diet and they were like, hey, you want to do this with me? Like, wouldn't it be great? Like, I'll do it with you. I know for me, when someone would try to badger me or get me to do something or try to lay down those, covert subliminal messages, I just wanted to punch them. I wanted to be like, no, you do your thing. I'm good. I know how to lose weight if I want to lose weight. Like, I didn't want somebody telling me how or what or when or if anybody tried to, I just wanted to go in the opposite direction. But when it comes to your spouse, and this is what I did with my spouse in the beginning, he started working out with me in the very beginning. And then it wasn't long after, he didn't start off really eating. He ate kind of on plan, kind of what he wanted to. And then all of a sudden he stopped working out. For a year, he did not work out at all. I would get up early. He'd still be laying in bed sleeping. I would come down to a quiet basement in the dark, get my workout done. He'd come down as I was working out, go to his office. Hey, good job. Thanks. And he would walk off. That was where he was at. I was in a different place. And my health was my responsibility, and his health was his responsibility. He was overweight, about 50 pounds overweight. He watched me lose 161 pounds. It wasn't until after I won. He went with me to a convention where I got awarded $106,000 for weight loss. He watched me go from being the biggest woman in most rooms to being one of the most fit. And it wasn't until after I was all the way done. During that time, I didn't nag him. I didn't pressure him. I didn't push him. I loved him for where he was at, just as he loved me all those years. He married me at my heaviest. He married me at 288 pounds. He never made me feel guilty. He never made me feel bad. He never made me feel like I was less than. He never made me feel that I wasn't beautiful. And so what? Here I decide to go get fit, and I'm going to now make him feel like he's not good enough because I decided to make a change? No, that's not how it works. And so I loved him, even with his unhealthy habits. I loved him knowing that he was 50 pounds overweight. Yes, I wanted him to be healthy, but I can't will him to want something he doesn't want. All I can do is set a good example for me and my health, and that's it. And equip my kids with skills to be healthy. And my husband eventually started working out with me again. And then he started following my food plan, eating the way I was eating. He lost over 50 pounds. He went from having a pot belly to a six-pack. Today, he makes healthy decisions on his own whether I cook for him or not. Because then we went through a season where he ate healthy, but only if I cooked it. Now he tries to make healthy decisions whether I'm around or not. Now, it's been the craziest thing, just even in the past month, even to see that go further. He would always work out with me as long as I would work out. But if I wasn't working out in the morning, he wouldn't work out in the morning. Well, we got back from a trip and I just wasn't going to get up first thing in the morning. I was tired. I was going to do my workouts in the afternoon, which is very rare. He started getting up in the morning and doing his workouts without me. Then he decided for 2 weeks to do twofers, which means he was doing 2 workouts a day by himself. And I can remember messaging some people that I work with and being like, this is crazy. This is not the man I married. This was not my husband years ago. But it's it's his journey. And that journey just took him a little longer than it took me. But it was only through my encouragement, my example, my refuse to nag him, and me loving, supporting, and encouraging him that even got him to where he's at. And so if you have a spouse that's not in line with where you're at health-wise, love, encourage, support. That's what you do. Lead by example. And know that when it's their time and when it's their decision, they will get on board. And their decision at their time is so much more powerful than you coercing, nagging, or convincing on your time. Because if they make it because of you, it will never last. It will never last. They will start and they will stop, and then they won't want to do it again because they will feel that they've disappointed you and they don't want to do that. So anyway, all right, let's move on to another question. It's hard because my friends tease me for eating a salad and not having a drink, and they try to get me to make bad choices. Yeah, isn't that fun? Like, one would think that when you started making good decisions with your health, that everyone would get on the bandwagon and be like, yes, good job, Cindy Lou Smith, good job, better girl. And they would support you, right? They'd be like, yeah, we'll all have a salad too. But a lot of times that's not what happens. But here's what I can tell you. You've got to know where you're going. You've got to know where you're going, and you've got to know why you're going there. Because if you don't know where you're going and you don't know who you are, then you'll be who they say you are, and you'll go where they want you to go. So who are you doing this for? Are you doing this for you? Are you doing this so that you can feel good about yourself, so that you can have confidence when you look in the mirror, so you can have more energy, so you can live a healthful, more fruitful, more productive life? Whose opinion do you care about most? Yours or your friends? Yours? Or people that you don't even know or like, or, that's sometimes what it is. I can remember going to weddings during this, because it took me 13 months to lose weight. So I went through every holiday, every birthday, any weddings that were in there. And I can remember going to a wedding of some friends. And it was like where they were serving you, and I took my food I put my food in containers, put it under the table, and when everybody else got served their meal, I brought mine up from underneath the table and I ate it. And there was this fear inside of me that everyone was going to be like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? But it was like, no, why would I be fearful of doing something for myself? Why would I be fearful of actually being committed to a goal? Of actually following through and achieving the thing that I said I wanted, versus being somebody who quits, being somebody who just gives in at every situation. And there were times where people gave me crap There's your times where people are like, oh, you got to work out, or oh, you can't just have a brownie, or oh, you can't just have a drink. And what I can tell you is the worst thing you can do is get in a situation where you're defending yourself, where you're like, well, just not right now, but when I get to my goal. No, you don't owe anybody any explanation for your choices, especially when they don't hurt anybody else. You're not expecting your friends not to drink. You're not expecting your friends not to have anything. So there's going to be people that are going to be like, come on, why can't you? And my answer is, hey, I'm totally fine. If you have some, I'm good right now. Thank you, though. So I don't make it awkward that they have a drink. I don't make it awkward that they have nachos for an appetizer. I don't make it awkward that, for their decisions, but I also don't apologize for mine. And I also don't feel bad about them. I don't feel bad about where I'm going. I don't feel bad about being committed. For freaking once in my life, I finally got committed to my health. Every other year, I was like, whatever. Yeah, I'll have a drink. Yeah, I'll have some nachos. Yeah, I'll have this. And I would just cave when anybody gave some pressure. And it was finally getting to the point where it's like, no. That doesn't line up with my goals. I finally got more committed. I finally cared more about what I wanted than what anybody else wanted for me. I cared more about my health and where I was going than about looking stupid. I cared more about what I thought about myself when I looked in the mirror than what someone else thought. And when you get to there, people's opinions start to matter much, 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 much less. Much less. How do I handle going out to eat and still losing weight? Okay, so you can still go out to eat and lose weight. A couple things I'm going to recommend to you is avoid the free food. So if you go to a place where they do bread, avoid the bread. If you go to a place where they do like chips and salsa, avoid the chips and salsa. And if it's just you and like kids or you and a spouse, like I would ask my spouse, I'd be like, do you care if we don't get the bread basket? Do you care if we don't get the chips and salsa? And sometimes he would totally be like, nope, that's fine. And then there's other times I can remember going to Red Lobster and I was like, so can we not get those devil cheese bread things? And he was like, no, we're getting them. I was like, oh, okay. So I said, well, can you at least move it to your side of the table? So he got them. And then you're not going to believe his nerve. They brought him 3 of them. He ate all 3 of them. And then he asked for more. He was like, can I have some more, please? But avoid eating the free food. All right. And it was fine. I was just sitting there thinking, all those calories are attaching themselves to your butt and not mine. And so anyway, so avoid the free food. And then what I would recommend is looking up the menu before you go. So pull up the menu before you get into the restaurant, before you get all the smells in your nose, before you see what everyone else is ordering, and make a plan of what you're going to order. Most menus have the calorie count next to it, but make a plan before you go. And what I would do is I would look up the menu, I would mark down in my phone what I was getting, and then when we got to the restaurant, I wouldn't even look at the menu. I would say, nope, I don't even need a menu. I'm so excited. I already know what I'm getting. Because I did not want to leave it up to chance because I know me. I'll get in there, I'll smell everything, I'll see what everybody else is getting, I'll look at the menu, and I'll change it. And I'll somehow justify it in my head that that's okay. Versus, nope, I already know what I'm getting, I already know what I'm not getting, and not even getting the menu. The third thing, making sure you're drinking lots of water throughout the meal. So ask for water, and I'll normally tell the waiter, I'll be like, look, I'm half camel. So you can either bring me a second glass of water or can you just watch it? Because I actually drink a lot of water. And they're like, oh, okay. So sometimes, and I just make a joke out of it because I do enjoy drinking water now. I didn't always. And then if you are really serious about losing weight, don't go to the restaurant starving. Don't go to the restaurant starving. Either drink some water on the way, eat a serving of some cucumbers or some baby carrots, or eat an apple, or eat something that takes up space in your stomach. Like for me, I would just slice up, like 10 slices of cucumber, and I would eat a cucumber on the way to dinner. Now, I know some of you are like, why would you eat on the way to dinner? Because a cucumber is almost no calories. And it's going to make my metabolism work because it's got to break all the cucumber down. Versus going to the restaurant being completely starved and then overeating. So I take the edge off with the serving of vegetables, and then I go in and enjoy my dinner. So those would be my tips for eating at a restaurant. All right, let's do one more. All right. Okay. There's so many good questions. I'm like, all right. There are so many good questions. All right. So let's just pick one off this sheet right here. All right. What kind of workouts do I recommend? That's really simple. I recommend moving your body 30 minutes a day, 6 days a week. 30 minutes a day, 6 days a week. There is a streaming service that I use. It's really, I'm a researcher, and out of everything that I found, it gives me the best variety. I can do it from home, and it's $99 a year. So for $99 a year, it's cheaper than a gym membership. And I'm not a personal trainer. So if I actually go to a gym, I'm going to walk around and look at the equipment. I'm not going to know what to do, how to do it. I'm going to walk around and use some of it, probably not effectively or efficiently. But these workouts, they're state-of-the-art workouts that I do from home. I'll put the link in the description box. Again, it's $99 a year. You get access to like Pilates, HIIT training, yoga, cardio, you know, all those things. And then they actually have a different option where you can get like live workouts. So they have that option where everything's recorded and you just select the workout you want to do. And then they have a live option where you can actually work out with trainers, and it's like a live class, but it's virtual, which is kind of cool too. For those of you that like that live workout type of thing, they have that option as well. I'll put those links in the description box. But at the end of the day, so obviously that's my preference for working out, but it's just starting somewhere. Start somewhere. Move your body 30 minutes a day, 6 days a week, and make that a habit. Make it a habit. You don't have to go to the gym to work out. You don't have to go to the gym to work out. Now, at the gym, if you have time to go to the gym and that's your jam and that's like your therapy and that's what you do to get some you time, then that's amazing. But if you making it to the gym is like a stuck point and it's actually stopping you from getting results, no. 30 minutes a day, 6 days a week, move your body. And so anyway, thank you for all the questions. If you have any other questions, I would love to have you leave them in the comments down below. I will add them to our list, and we will be back tomorrow with another episode of The Biggest Transformation at 12:30 p.m. And then next Tuesday, we'll be back here on the channel. We'll be back here on the channel. So thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.